one called Spag Bowl or Spaghetti Bolognese sauce. It's just so nice after a cold day, after shoveling out your car for hours and schlepping through the snow and dragging around, to come home to a nice, rich, hearty, good meal, you know, that sticks to your ribs. It's real soulful food that just kind of warms your whole body up from the inside out. I really love this dish. Now what I've done so far is I've browned some chopped meat and some sweet Italian sausage in olive oil, Mrs. Dash, garlic and herb blend, which I told you before is one of my favorite things in the whole world. And one of the most important things is the wino. Man, you gotta have some red wine. Any brand is good, whatever you drink is fine, but the red wine just really adds that hearty, rich taste to it. It just makes it so much more interesting to eat, I think. And as far as the sausage goes, well, you know, I buy fresh sausage made up here in the Berkshires, but you can use your favorite sweet, if you're a sweet person, or spicy Italian sausage, either one. It's really a matter of personal taste. I like sweet and spicy because that's the kind of girl I am. But I use both. I use, you know, I use like 3 links of the sweet and 3 links of the spicy just to mix it up a bit. Kind of covers the whole spectrum, if you know what I mean. Satisfies everybody. So as that's browning, I have an onion and scallion mix. I think the scallion adds kind of an interesting taste to it as opposed to just the onions. And again, I'm going to pour it in. These are locally grown onions and scallions, but you know, if you live in an area where you can't get that, that's cool. Just, you know, buy some stuff that's already chopped. I'm going to add some chopped green pepper. I just like a little, I think green pepper adds, again, a little bit of an interesting kind of like, you know, from your garden flavor, which is a good thing. You don't want too much because you don't want it to overwhelm the whole thing. You don't want to be like, oh, this is the sauce about pepper. But I like it. It adds some nice color, you know, a little design. I like food that kind of matches my clothes. So a little red, yellow, green, whatever you can throw in there is good. A real staple to Spag Bowl, Spaghetti Bolognese, I think, are peas. Believe it or not, even though we have gorgeous fresh peas here in the Berkshires, I actually prefer canned peas for this one dish. I like the LeSueur brand canned peas because, I don't know, just something about the way these peas have been sitting in the can with the whatever they put in it, water and salt, just makes them kind of soft, and it really adds like a sweetness to the dish that's just a little bit more kind of interesting, I think, than a fresh pea, which is more snappy. You know, this isn't like a snappy, fresh, springy dish. This is a real hearty, soulful, kind of satisfying. You want to bring it down, you don't want to bring it up type thing. Now, believe it or not, my secret ingredient de secret of the Spag Bowl is cinnamon. Not only is cinnamon good for your heart and good to bring your blood sugar down, but it also adds, again, that like sweet, home-cooked, nurturing taste to it. And at the same time, it just adds a little zip to make it just a nice, sweet surprise. That's what I like to call it, a sweet surprise in my Spag Bowl. Just a dash here and there, you know, you don't have to make the whole thing. I mean, it's not a gingerbread cookie, for God's sakes, but it's just a nice, again, wow, it really, the wine and the cinnamon and the peas and the sausage, boy, is this smelling good. I want to show y'all some other vegetables that I have. Now, the carrots are very traditional for Spag Bowl. You know, there's nothing really special about putting carrots in Spaghetti Bolognese. I like it. You know, again, I like that sweetness to my food, being a sugar freak, even though I'm not adding sugar. So I like the big carrots. I just like to put them in. These are organically grown local carrots here. And again, they add a sweetness to the whole thing, and just a nice kind of farm veggie feel to the mixture. Now, I'm gonna add two other vegetables that aren't traditional to add in spag bowl. But again, because we're up here in the Berkshires and we're so spoiled with all the wonderful farm fresh produce, you know, sometimes I just can't, you know, help myself. I like to throw in some things that, you know, normally don't go in, like some asparagus. Aren't these beautiful, crunchy? You don't want a whole bunch because, again, you don't want it to be like asparagus in a meat dish, but just a bit, you know. I think a bit are fun. Just snap some off. And, you know, again, people aren't expecting it, so when they find asparagus in it, they get surprised in a good way. And the last veggie I'm going to add are my favorite, these portobellos. Man, I cannot stop cooking with these portobellos because, again, they're just everything I love. They're meaty, you know, they're spongy. You just love to squeeze them. They're fresh, they're rich, you know, they're indulgent, and they just make you feel so well fed and loved, and they're just a big kind of statement vegetable that again just adds to the richness and the fullness, I think, of the dish. That's why I really love them. I like to crinkle them up. I just can't stand the thought of cutting portobello mushrooms because, as I said, I love how they feel, and I love how they taste, and I just love what they do to food. They just add so much. It's like a whole nother dimension of cooking.